Hey you guys, here's my Vikings Season 4, Episode 6, Part 1 review, and the episode was entitled, What Might Have Been. So, pretty much what I'm going to talk about Part 1 is mainly Egbbert's decision in regards to Alfred and the Vikings finally on their way back to Paris. So, in regards to Wessex, Egbert says that he has decided pretty much to let Alfred, young Alfred, go on a pilgrimage to Rome, which Father Prudentius will oversee and join him since he's been there before. Judith and Aethelwulf aren't really happy with that. Aethelwulf says to his father that the boy's too young to go because Rome is very dangerous, especially the streets of Rome. So Egbert says pretty much that you're going to be joining him. And Aethelwulf gives a look to Queen Kay. Queen Kay has a concerned look on her face. Aethelwulf's like saying, well, who's going to lead, the armies to help get Queen Kay back on her rightful throne? Egbert's like, I'm going to do it. And Aethelwulf had that look like, oh, you're going to do it, So King Egbert says, listen, I'm not ignorant to, the complications and the situation of Alfred's birth, but I believe that he's a gift sent by God and that this pilgrimage to Rome will further, help him sort of grow. So when the time comes, when it's time for the boy to pretty much reach his greatest level, this experience will help him greatly, So yeah, after that you have Alfred asking Egbert, how long will it take? And then Alfred calls Prudentius, and he tells Alfred to ask him the question again, but to Prudentius. Alfred's pretty much like, how long will it take? Prudentius said they're going to go 12 miles a day, but in total it'll be like about 1,100 miles. So Alfred's like, that seems like it's going to take forever. But Prudentius like, listen, it's all good, little guy. It helps cleanse the soul pretty much, And Alfred, after that, he leaves, and you see him sort of breathing hard. So he obviously has some type of condition. So after that, we have Ragnar pretty much telling the people that 3 weeks of the day they're going to sail to Paris. And he pretty much gives his boys the arm ring, made them pledge loyalty to him and his fealty, since he is their father and is their king, and that they were to betray that, then they will be shamed and not have their spots in Valhalla. So the boys accepts. Well, yeah, Ubi and Visser, accepts. So Bjorn's like, come on, try your rings, my brothers, and everyone is like all happy. Except Queen Aslog. Queen Aslog's like, listen, Ragnar, they're too young. And Ragnar's saying pretty much, listen, they're my sons, I'm the king. So where I say goes. And last time I left them with you, they almost drowned, And besides, they're not too young to watch. So after that, I believe Ragnar is with Yidu. And Yidu says she wants to go along with Ragnar. Ragnar's like, nah. And Yidu's like, listen, you need someone that can give you your medicine, since if you go to Paris without me, you won't have anyone. And you might go a little crazy, whatever. And I'm the only one that can control you and the medicine, because you can't control the medicine, And she said, besides, do you speak Frankish? After that, he had Ragnar speak to the seer. And he says, I want to know, when will I die? The day I will die. The seer says, when you see the blind man. And Ragnar like saying, listen, are you bullshitting me again with your fucking, nonsensical, not direct prophecies? And the seer's like, listen, when your death's about to come, we both will know when, So after that, you have the scene with Ivar. It seems like he's in the dark looking at something. Then it becomes bright and it's obvious. It's in the morning and the ships are sailing away. So you have one of the Viking dudes banging the drums, really saying a beautiful, song, whatever, while the ships are going, heading towards Paris. You have Visser Kenobi pretty much looking back, and Ragnar's like, listen, there's no point looking back because you ain't going that way. Life lesson. Always look forward. So yeah, they're sitting down. They go back, sit down. You have Bjorn looking over the ring. Looking at the ring. And Torby's wondering, okay, why do you keep looking at that ring? And then Bjorn's like saying, I'm looking at this ring because I took it from a berserker that was sent to kill me. Then he looks directly at Erlander, and Erlander realizes that Bjorn's looking at him, and then he just turns his head. And then Torby recognizes this, and then he's like, now do you understand? So after that, you have pretty much see Lagertha and her people, and her boats. And King Finehair and Halfdan asks Floki, is he happy being on the boat with them? Floki's like, yes, I am happy. I'm happy being with new friends who actually accept the gods and would betray the gods, you know? And Helga is hearing this in the background. She's like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, Floki. These dudes are not your friends. Ragnar has always been your friend, you know, like forever. And yeah, so Halfdan says, I agree with you, Floki. We're all friends, and I feel it in my heart, you know, and all that. So I believe after that scene, well, before that scene, we see Ivar, Aslog, and Sigurd just watching them from the mountaintop. So after that, we have pretty much King Egbert, Judith, and company pretty much saying their last goodbyes to both Alfred, Aethelwulf, and Prudentius before they make their way towards their pilgrimage to Rome. And King Egbert says to young Alfred, you know how when you're dirty, you take a bath? And Alfred's like, yeah. He's like, consider this pilgrimage like a bath for the soul. You know, he said, goodbye, my boy, whatever. You know, so next, after that, you have Judith say, you know what, listen to listen to Aethelwulf, this is for Father Prudentius, they know what's best. Pretty much says she loves him, you know, and they're off. And she cries a little bit, Judith, seeing her little boy, baby boy just leave off, whatever. And the next scene after that, you have, I believe it's nighttime, and once again, the Vikings are on their way to Paris. Vitzerk and Ubi are having a hard time sleeping. Ubi looks like he just wants to punch the daylights out of Vitzerk because he's annoying him, you know. And then you have Yidu sing this really beautiful Chinese song, which puts pretty much everyone to sleep with the exception of a few. One of them being Floki, who seems like literally aggravated at the song. He's so annoyed. He's putting his hands to his ears, you know. Bjorn's awake, Ragnar's awake, and he's taking his medicine, you know, looking directly at Yidu as she sings. And you see Halfdan awake, and you see King Finehair awake. So the next scene, you see pretty much, seem like the boats are separated. You see Vixer and Ubi like having some buckets and just taking and throwing the water that was in the boat back into, you know, sea or whatever. And Bjorn asks Ragnar for the sunstone, and he realizes, you know, looking at the little thing, the water, that, you know, that they went too far south. So eventually they see two other boats. And those two other boats are Lagertha's and King Finehair's boats. And they're able to get to the land of, you know, they get to part of Francia where they see the flags that represents the Frankish, you know, scouts where they're at. So they get off their boats, you know, and I believe, yeah, the scouts, yeah, the Frankish scouts, they're fucked up, they're drunk. So one of the scouts, looks to be a teenager or whatever, he's taking a little piss, you know, he's fucked up. So Halfdan literally puts his foot, you know, right there while the dude's pissing. And then you see Floki, Finehair, Halfdan, and their men pretty much grab the boy, whatever. And then that's when they start, and the rest of their men pretty much attacks the Frankish scouts' camp, you know. And before I end this part one, you know, review of Vikings Season 4, Episode 6, entitled, you know, Once Again, What Might Have Been, I believe I did not mention Lagertha pretty much doing a ritual for the grave of Calf. Yeah, so she does that. Erlander wants to know why she killed him. And she says, me and him, I pretty much told Calf that I can never forgive him for what he did, and that I would kill him when the opportunity came. You know, I would never forgive him for taking my earldom. So she speaks to Guthrum. She says, Guthrum, remember, always hold your friends close, because some of them might die on this raid, and the other ones will betray you. Always have your eyes open, you know? So, yeah. Last thing she says, pretty much, to Erlander is like, listen, you can come with me to Paris, but, you know, you might be, most likely, you're going to be on a boat full of women and shield maidens. If you can deal with that, then you can come. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say for part one, this review. Thank you for watching, and I'll have part two in like an hour or so. Adios.